What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Spider-Man Miles Morales Ending Explained and Easter Eggs video. I had the pleasure of finishing this game on stream, and I have to say I really adored it. While yes, it was short at about 8 to 10 hours for just the main story, the game blazed its own trail, and if Spider-Man PS4 is the best Spidey story I've experienced in a very long time, then Miles Morales is the best alternate story I've had. Now, while unfortunately it does fall short just slightly of Spider-Man PS4, it's not a slight on the writing, the gameplay or anything like that. It's just the fact that the game was in a smaller scale and seemingly focused around the family and the neighbourhood. I mean, the real villain Krieger, well, you never really properly fight him. Instead, they go a different way, and they have you becoming a mirror of the other villain, the Tinkerer, which is of course your childhood best friend Finn, as Miles struggles to help her get revenge, but well, the right way. It's all about becoming responsible with your powers. I think there's a phrase there which has been said in a better phrase, but there is quite a lot of Easter eggs in this game, and the first Easter egg is really easily missed, as in the first game you had a chance to go to Uncle Ben's grave to get a trophy. However, here we do have Aunt May's grave beside him, because of course she sadly passed away in the first game. Now, one of the many collectibles in this game features a big wheel, and that is seemingly on the surface a weird one nonetheless. But this is a deep cut from Spider-Man history, as Big Wheel was a villain introduced in The Amazing Spider-Man 1978. Funnily enough, the Tinkerer made this weapon, and the Tinkerer was, well, in this game, except in the comics, the Tinkerer was a man named Phineas Mason, who started off making weapons for Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio. And of course, the Tinkerer was also in Spider-Man Homecoming, making the weapons for Vulture there, swapping those characters over. Now, there was one very obvious Easter egg where, in the final mission, there was a flashback and you run into Octavius and Peter as they speak about technology, as Peter has to run off for a family emergency. You can't see my air quotes there. Of course, there's a crisis brewing there. Now, one other Easter egg was really cool, and it shows that the X-Men are actually in this world, as while searching through old memories, Miles finds a concert ticket that he went to with Finn, except this concert was the Dazzler. Now, Dazzler, aka Alison Blair, is a mutant with light-based powers who was able to create a pop career with amazing light shows, keeping her mutant secret powers secret. And now one which was very obvious and is becoming a mainstay in Spider-Man media, which involves Spider-Man using his webs to pull together major buildings, or in this case, a bridge. This was a bridge mission where you fight the underground, and it's a direct callback to Spider-Man Homecoming, where Peter pulls together the ferry after it was destroyed. Now, while Chadwick Boseman was honoured at the end of the game in a very touching message, Stan Lee also gets a mention in a statue here. Now, in the first game, we had one of the best Stan Lee Easter eggs ever, which was where he actually was looking over on MJ and Peter, and I really did like that. But here, he has a statue next to the diner there, and when you go up to it and interact with it, you even get a trophy, so that's pretty cool there. Now, the ending, well, this is interesting, as it was both satisfying and, well, kind of not. It depends how you feel. So, Finn is seemingly fully dead, as there was no hint of her surviving the epilogue, and Miles is free to carry on his career as the other Spider-Man. But are we convinced that the Tinkerer, a major character, is dead, despite the characters seemingly disappearing? I mean, I got major Into the Spider-Verse vibes here with the multi-dimension machine that Fisk made, looking very much like the new form reactor. So I really don't think we've seen the end of the Tinkerer there. However, we do have a really interesting post-credit scene, which is itself a payoff from the first game's post-credit scene. And as I said on the stream, we're going to have to wait another 2 years to get a payoff from that. Now, in the last game, Norman Osborn walks in to say that he's failed his son, who was terminally ill, and this was hinted at throughout the game. However, at the end of Spider-Man Miles Morales, we see this scene from the perspective of Harry Osborn. He wakes up and we can see what can only be presumed as a Venom symbiote around him. Norman Osborn bursts in, saying to Dr. Connors, the Lizard himself, that they are going to release him, much to Kurt Connors' actual protests. Of course, we know the Osborn family pushing forward with research without kind of testing it. That never ever goes well. Just look at the Spider-Man movie and also look at the Amazing Spider-Man movie as well. Now, Harry did become Venom in the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series, but what is even more interesting is that Eddie Brock is actually a photojournalist in this world. Eddie Brock being one of the most legendary people to take the Venom symbiote, as he was in the comics and movies, and of course in this he was also in an article with Mary Jane, the one taking the photos. Now, during the final mission and flashback to the museum, we see the Oscorp spaceship and lunar habitat. Now, in the Venom, the movie, and some other iterations, the Venom symbiote was found on an asteroid and transported back via J. Jonah Jameson's son, who was an astronaut, and on his ship. So with that in mind, I think that Norman Osborn actually got a hold of the symbiote after an Oscorp space mission went wrong, or very right for Norman in this instance. And I don't think we're going to get the Secret Wars world where we had Spidey get a new suit only for it to turn out to be that actual symbiote. Now, while I am a bit bored of Venom, I don't get the hype with Venom. I mean, I really did like Donny Cates' run where he kind of gave all the symbiotes a backstory. We had the absolute really awesome character Null. I think he might be a bit too much for the next game, and this might just be setting up Harry as the Green Goblin, skipping Norman entirely, which I really wouldn't mind at all, as we've seen the Green Tank, and of course, the Osborns, they absolutely love green. Considering we have a fully fledged Miles Morales, then having 3 villains such as Venom, Green Goblin and Lizard, well, that would work, as we had loads in the first game, and a way to split the Spider-Men would be cool, sort of like GTA 5. But that is it for this video. Please do let me know down in the comments what you liked. I might stream some more as well. I might. I just haven't got the time. But do let me know what you think. And I'll see you soon, and goodbye.